Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I trust everyone is safe and well. Welcome to today's Open Classroom webinar. Today we'll be welcoming back Cameron Woe with a Wednesday Roads class. Please remember that all our past lockdown webinars, 40 of them now in total, can be found on our website on the FAQ page, which is found under the Services pull-down menu. As always, please feel free to use the text chat service on your GoToWebinar app to ask us any questions you may have during Cameron's presentation. So, good afternoon, Cameron. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Charles. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Open Classroom. The objective today is to pick up existing road design elements from a survey and then using that existing information to widen the edges and calculate new layer work volumes. I'm going to be focusing in on the extract strings and extract layer work from CAD functionality. What I've done beforehand is I've used the name filter for my surveyed points. And I'm going to pick up these existing surveyed points to use for our road design. Just to get a quick idea of what a cross-section looks like of these surveyed points, I go to my terrain mode, terrain menu, and select Quick Profile Viewer. Click in on the start point and the end point, and then right-click in Finish. So as you can see over here, this would be our left-hand side carriageway, this would be our median information, and then the right-hand side carriageway. I've also gone and created appropriate CAD layers and take note of these CAD layers because I'll be using them throughout the design process. And just to show you what I've done, I'm going to turn the visibility of them on, click on OK. Inside my CAD mode, I would have went to Draw and selected Polyline, lightweight polyline. That is how I went and put in these 5 lines over here. Turning off the surveyed points and then using the lines for the design. Going to the beginning of my road. Take note of the length of the road. We're looking at approximately 6 kilometers. Going back to the beginning of the road and pressing Escape. In my roads mode, I go to File, select Road File, and I go and specify my road settings. I can, for instance, go to my display settings and go and turn on my surface shading. I'm going to turn on the transparency. Going through the road design process, I go to Alignment, Regression, Extract Strings. We're looking at a dual carriageway, and during the extraction process, we'd only use the CAD entities. For this purpose, let's go and extract everything. Reading my prompt, I need to indicate the start point of the stake line. So I go to the beginning of my CAD line and I left click. Reading my prompt again, it says indicate the end point. If you don't want the full length of this CAD line, you could go and specify an endpoint. In my case, I want to use the entire length, so I go and press Escape. Then I actually go and select the CAD line. Right click and extract string. Specify your chainage coordination interval. Let's use 20 meters. Then looking at the left pivot information, the chainage range is automatically picked up from the stake line. You have the option of using a fixed height, but in that case, everything would be at constant elevation. If you've got a 3D CAD entity, you could go and select from entities, but in our case, we'd only pick up the elevations from our survey. If, for example, you're doing a road rehabilitation design here and you want to go and resurface, you could easily just go and add 30 millimeters by specifying an add constant height. Click on OK. Now that the stake line is finished, you'll see that in your road control center, I get additional information. But still looking at the left pivot, I go and select which CAD line represents my left pivot. Once the entity is selected, you go and right click and extract string. Same thing applies to the right hand side pivot. Click on the CAD line, right click and extract string. Looking at my road left edge, same thing applies. Click on OK. Click on the left road edge CAD line, right click and extract string. Now while I'm busy working here, you can see the information being updated. If your control panel looks slightly different to mine, it means that you aren't using the latest version. Still looking at the road right edge, go and select the appropriate CAD line, right click and extract string. In this particular road design, the left median is at the same position of your left pivot. So re-clicking on that line, and then the same thing applies to the right hand side. Once you've gone through the process and you've selected all the correct entities, because my road expert is turned on, Civil Designer goes through the design process for me. Before I show this to you in a cross-sectional format, just a couple of things I want to point out. If I go to the cross-sectional symbols drawing over here, and I'll explain to you where this drawing is saved, we've got a couple of symbols here that we're going to work with. This yellow line, white line, and new. If you want to go and create your own symbols that you can use in cross-sections, you go to your CAD mode, you would select Tools, Blocks, and that is where you go and create your own block. All of these symbols are already blocks, so I can go to Block Manager and just show you what they look like. So if, for instance, you wanted to edit the telephone pole, you could go and right-click there and go and select Edit Block. That will bring up the block editor, and if you go to the block editor menu, there's options available to you. Closing the block editor and going back to our road design. Select and extract strings at the bottom again, and as you go and select the different options, you can see how they are highlighted in the plan view. Let's take a look at the cross-section, going back to the roads. Selecting Section, Graphical Edit. Clicking on a position on my road. I'm then going to update the display settings. Then I'm going to change my pen color for the ground so that you can see the difference between the ground and the road levels. I'm also going to go and turn on the template layerworks because we are going to change that at a later stage. And then pointing out the road fixtures. These are the CAD layers I pointed out to you earlier. And then when I open up the cross-sectional diagram, which is found in this location, I showed you the white, yellow line and the proposed diagram, which we called new. And then also take note, if I go and change the active line to line number 2, I can get information on my cross-section of line number 2, which is the road levels. So zooming in, there you can see the difference between the two road layers, road levels, and our ground. We picked up from our CAD layers in the plan view where the white and yellow line is. And we've got layerworks between the two lines. If I go and right click and select Edit Point, that particular point over there is my left road edge, and that would then be my left median. Looking at the median information over here, I want to show you something in the template. And go to the template editor. Zooming into the median and just making this a bit bigger. And then you right click and select Add Ground. Just to show you what's going to happen with the median information. If I go to the median tab, over here I've gone and specified the median join type as slope plus extract. And the slope is at 1n, negative 1.5. So we got a downward slope until it meets the ground level. And that is the meaning of your extract option. The next functionality that I want to show you here is how you could go about using the extract strings functionality to make your road wider. So I'm changing my zoom view and I'm turning on 2 additional CAD layers. Here we've got proposed road edge left and proposed median left. So as I go and zoom in there, you can see these are the 2 additional CAD layers, which are also polylines. I could again go to alignment, regression, and extract strings, but in this example, I'm going to stick to my control center. I want to update the left road edge, so I go and double click there. I'm still using the CAD entity, and in this case, I'm going to go and retain the crossfill. And I'm going to use the current string slopes. So whatever slopes I already have, I'm going to maintain. I'm just extending the width. Click on OK, and select the CAD entity. Right-click and extract. Same thing applies to the median. Go and double-click on left median. Still picking it up from CAD and specifying to retain the current string slopes. Select it, right-click and extract. And because I've got red text here, it indicates that there's been changes made, so I can go and right-click and recalculate my road. It's going to update the width on the left-hand side. Looking at that again in a cross-sectional format, we go to Section, Graphical Edit, and I'm going to go and select a portion where we've got the wider median. Zooming into the left-hand side carriageway, you can see we've got the new text over there. And this is one of the symbols that I pointed out, the cross-sectional symbols that I pointed out earlier. So from that point, you'll see that the new point go in towards the white line. And in a similar manner, find that the left road width becomes wider. Let's go and close this and calculate our layer work volumes. We go to Area Volume and go and select Layer Work Volumes. Specify which layers to use for the entire chainage range. Just to open my output window and pointing out the left carriageway layer work volumes. Looking at the total volume, if we were to add up the total volume, we've got close to 20,000 cubic meters. Now we're going to calculate only the volume on the outside of our left carriageway to be used for the road widening. So we do this by going to Alignment again, Regression, Extract Layer Works from CAD. Just focusing in on the left-hand side over here. I'm going to go and specify the left layer work edge as proposed road edge left and the right layer work edge as the existing yellow line left. Right, so you can see how your diagram gets updated. Click on OK. And if we go and view that cross-section again, you'll see how it's gone and changed. So in this case, our new width and the existing yellow line is at the same position. And as I go and press page down, and once we get to the wider portion, you will see how your layer work then is introduced. So we just want to calculate the layerworks of this new left-hand side width. Going back to area volume and specifying layerwork volumes. Previously, we worked out our total volume to be close to 20,000. Taking another look here, looking at the total volume, we've got close to 4,000. So you can see that the layerwork volumes have been updated. Closing the output bar and looking at a cross-sectional plot. If I go back to plot on top and I go and select generate, if we recall, we looked at cross-sectional sheet files in earlier versions of our webinar series. I'm going to use that cross-sectional sheet file, specify which settings to use, and then you put in a start chainage of 1680, finish, and then zooming into the left-hand side. If you were to compare the right-hand side to the left-hand side layerworks, you can see that there's a change. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us know if you've got any additional questions. Until next time, back to you, Charles.
Thank you, Cameron. That was great. And thank you to all who attended today. Please remember, if you would like any further information with regards to Civil Designer's Roads module, please use the email listed on your screens right now or visit our website. See you all tomorrow at the same time and same place using the same link for Chris's weekly pipes class. Take care and goodbye for now.